Hey, boss. Ready for look back on another big month. That 4-0 win against Sagantose was something.
Yeah, a bit of a setback after that though, held to a scoreless draw by Oita Trinita.
But you got on back on track with a 4-0 thrashing of Blaublitz Akita. Osawa on fire, bagging a hat-trick.
True. Then we edged out Tokushima 1-0 in the last minute with Osawa again, a real nerve-wrecker.
You're doing well in the cup too, taking down Zweigen Kenesawa 2-1 in the second leg. Nice to see Juninho stepping up with that pace.
Yeah, Juninho's been a real asset lately. Now we've got Tokyo Verdy in 6th and JF United in 5th coming up. Big games as we try and extend the gap on top.
The Gegenpress is doing a great job. Hopefully it handles the tests coming up.
No issues so far, 11 points clear, looking pretty good for promotion.
Keep going, boss.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 5 of Red Bull KloppBot here on Sean Does FM with Omiya Ardija over in J2 in Japan. I hope you're doing well, and come up today we've got two big games early on here in the month of May as we try and extend our gap on the top of the table. First up, we take on one of the preseason favourites in Tokyo Verdy, that one at home, before we check out some of the KloppBot's hotspots over in Chiba as we take on JF United. Those guys currently just one spot above them in 5th, so looking forward to that coming up in today's episode. Make sure to go down below, leave a thumbs up, all that good stuff. But at the end of last week, we took on Sagan Tosu in our toughest match to date at that point of the season. So if you missed that one, I'll leave a link to it over in the top right corner to be here. So far, we've done a really good job here at Omiya Ardija. A little bit surprising, especially with that sale of Nakano going in to that episode. And thankfully, the good forms continued. Actually did drop points off the back of that 4-0 win over Sagan Tosu. This one a bit surprising against Oita Trinita, even though it was away from home stats-wise. This was a game that we were very dominant in, as per usual. Just could not break through. There were only 4 shots on target from our 17 overall. That's probably a sign in that game anyway that our striking replacement of 10 Lin did not fire, and neither did Fabian Gonzalez off the bench, who we did try as a striker for this game, seeing as Ozawa was on a little bit of a heavy workload, but maybe should have had more faith there in our backup striker, because he's gone off the back of that game. A 4-0 win over Blaublitz Akita. He picked up a hat-trick, completed that one late on, and Anhaloti also chipped in with a goal. Off the back of that, played the first leg of a second round time, the J-League Cup, and just did enough there to beat Zweigen Kenesawa 2-1. To be fair though, you can see it over on the right-hand side, it was a pretty heavily rotated team for that game. Juninho really one of the only first-team players who started that game. He picked up both goals. They grabbed one back in the second half, but it does mean we go through having picked up a 3-2 win in that first leg before that episode at the end of last week. So that does mean we're now through to the round of 16. That's going to be coming up in late May, and we do take on a half-decent team there in Montedio Yamagata. Again from the J2, they are currently in 4th, so that could be something interesting, albeit their recent form actually not too good. Losses there to Tokushima Vortiz as well as Makita Zalvia, but really they're doing quite well. That could be a bit of a tougher test for us there in the round of 16 of that competition, and more wins off the back of that in the J2. 3-0 over Vigalda Sendai. That's the club that we sent Kaike to, seeing as he didn't want to extend his contract when we first got here to the Red Squirrels. Goals there to Fabian Gonzalez, an own goal, and also Nguyen Tin Lin. He popped up late to put that one beyond doubt, and we come to this one off the back of a 1-0 win over Tokushima Vortiz. Osawa popping up very late there to give us the 3 points. It was looking like a game we would somehow not pick up the 3 points, but thankfully Osawa coming off the bench got his maximum points from that game, and based on stats really would have been extremely harsh if that was not the case. So thankfully Osawa has been doing a really good job since you were last here. Doesn't look too special. His homegrown club though, so actually could be someone who's quite useful keeping around for the remainder of the save, especially in cup competitions, because there are a few rules we need to abide by in those. We might even come back for some cup games if things continue to go really well here for the remainder of the season, because currently we have a massive gap on top of the J2 and a chance to extend it in today's episode. We're 11 points clear with a game in hand over Makita Zalvia, and 2 points further back to a bunch of teams, including our second opposition in JF United Chiba. So that means we're 13 points clear of the teams who are outside the automatic promotion spots already. Coming up to close to halfway through the season, it's looking pretty good for us to make our way up to J1 for the second season of this save as long as the KloppBot still wants us here, but surely he'll want us to stay here and establish these guys as a J1 team at the very least before we move on to a different Red Bull team. But as you can see there, in a super strong position, our goal differential is higher than all the other teams' points total. So we're looking very dominant here currently at Omiya Ardija. Very surprising considering the season preview only had us down in 13th, albeit that did fall off the back of that sale of Nakano these days. Also worth noting that Juninho's made his way into that Dream 11, our first play we've had in that team the entirety of this save. But two big games coming up in today's episode. In the first one, we take on the raging hot preseason favourites there in Tokyo Verdy. Really, they've got no excuses for not being top of the league this season, and currently they're struggling to make their way into the playoffs down in 6th. That's really not good for these guys currently. Hopefully can make the most of their struggling form this season, especially with this first game for us being at home. Their captain is Higaru Nakahara. Let's have a look at him, a right winger. He does look pretty good, quite well rounded with 5-star current ability and potential. Also going down there, their vice captain is Taniguchi, a centre back at 25 years old. He's actually got quite good first touch and technique. Looks like he'd be a really good ball playing defender in our system. The 25-year-old, maybe if we go up to J1 next season, that's someone we can try and pinch. Currently he's wanted though by Kyoto Sanga and Shimizu S-Pulse. They might pinch him this upcoming transfer window in a few months' time. But the key player is the goalkeeper in Mateus, the Brazilian. He does actually look really good. He reminds me a little bit of David Cifuentes back from the New Zealand Builder Nation save, but a bit older and with some really good goalkeeping attributes there. The mentals and physicals, not quite so good, but he does look like a very good goalie. Hopefully can beat him a few times in this first game. In today's episode, in terms of the medical centre, thankfully, just one injury we're currently dealing with. And hopefully, next time we come back for an episode, he'll be fit from that broken ankle. Will Riku Okai, but it does mean that not much has changed really off the back of the episode at the end of last week. So hopefully, we can kick things off here with a win over the preseason favourites as we take on Tokyo Verdy. And here are the team sheets for this first game of today's episode. First up, it is the Red Squirrels in top form. And we've got Minami at left back, Yamada in central attacking midfield, and Yamazaki at left wing, just coming in for some players on a heavy workload, but it's quite close to our first choice 11 there at Tokyo Verdy. They are going with a 4-2-3-1, but they're one a bit more traditional than our slightly asymmetrical one that the KloppBot's cooked up. And to be fair, it's doing a superb job so far. Hopefully that continues and we can extend the gap on top of the table. And just past the 15-minute mark, get what's hopefully the first proper highlight of this game. Had one early. Gonzalez had a chance, but he was offside, and he hit the side netting. So I didn't think that was worth showing you guys, but now hopefully Yamada, we know he's quite good at these free kicks, tries to bend that one inside the far post. Not too sure if Mateus dove for that in time, but it comes off the woodwork. It's a chance for us. Unfortunately, can't quite take it. It's still 0-0 in now. Bigoledo has picked up an orange injury. I think we're going to play things safe, especially with that large gap we've got currently on top of Pavos Mati. He can cover right back. There's a bit more of a centre back. We'll bring him on here coming up to the half-hour mark. Still scoreless. And we just snuck our way into the last 10 minutes here of this first half. So far, it's been a pretty quiet game, a pretty even one as well. Both teams with some chances, but not many shots on target. We give the ball away there quite poorly, but thankfully Dimas wins that one back for us. We get it out there to Gonzalez on a yellow card. So I have to think about taking him off at half-time, but hopefully we can leave him out there. Definitely one of our best players in attacking midfield today with no Juninho or Anjali. Both those guys are on a heavy workload. We'll see, though, if we bring them off of the bench. Again, Tokyo Verdy disrupt us there, but thankfully we can win that ball back down the left-hand side. Yamazaki in for Dimash, now Ohashi. He'll find Yamada, who picks out Fabian Gonzalez, and thankfully we're leaving him on at the moment. To be fair, on a 6.4, we're probably going to take him off at half-time, but that's a goal which might see him get a bit of an extension on his stay out there in the second half. Some good short passing here. He just gets him behind his man there on the right-hand side. It's a pretty average effort in goal that from Mateus, but thankfully he finds a way to put that one in the back of the net there. You can see the stats. It's a very even game. We've slightly had the better of things, but up until that goal, very even game, but thankfully now we're 1-0 in front, albeit now there's a chance here for Tokyo Verdy to do something just before halftime. They do get Coda there in behind, takes on the shot and beats Higashi. So unfortunately, we're not in front for long here. The preseason favourites, they do put that one away and make it 1, or maybe they're going to start living up to the hype here in this game once they take on the team who they probably feel like the benchmark so far in this league, and the table proves that unfortunately, I think Tabira got a decent chunk on that one. Otherwise, Higashi might have been able to save that. But unfortunately, they find a way to equalise. And now they've got a free kick here, which they try and put top right corner through there. Yamada's must be good free kick takers here in Japan, but that will do it for the first half. They actually picked up quite a few yellow cards in that half, so might be a few subs coming up here going into the second. We'll see what we can do here with our bench, but relatively happy with how that's going. We'll beat off the back of that equaliser. Tokyo Verdy actually have now got more shots off and more shots on target. So this game is pretty competitive compared to most we've played so far here in the J2 with our Red Squirrels. Now, I think Juninho can do a job in box-to-box midfield. We'll bring him on there for Dimas. Abe can come on for Ohashi. And apart from that, we could potentially bring on Angelotti for Gonzalez. Might not be the worst idea, even though he is on a heavy workload. So we'll take off those players on yellow cards just to play things safe here going in to the second half. Hopefully can kick away and pick up another win. But currently, it's a tight game, locked up at 1-1. And in fact, we've got a highlight here right from the restart. So Tokyo Verdy will take this one. Interesting to see they've still got a player out there on orange injury. Obviously, can't be too serious, but Yamada plays that one forward to the goal scorer in Koda. Tries to square that one there for the partially injured player. That's a massive chance, but Higashi comes up there with a big save. Let's see if we do something on the counter attack. We can't, but huge save there from Higashi to keep it at 1-1. And we go just past the hour mark for our next highlight of this game. Mateus there with a goal kick and does find Koda, who so far is doing a good job there for Tokyo Verdy. Really should have got an assist before to go alongside that equaliser from the first half. We win that ball there down our right-hand side. Angelotti tries to pump that one deep. Unfortunately, Tenlin can't link up with him, but now Fukuda does get in behind, but thankfully, big chance, but puts that one wide. So Tokyo Verdy have now had some really good chances to put us to bed a bit here in the second half. Thankfully, still 1-1. But now we float a ball far post there through Yamazaki, and Angelotti will head that one home. The goal today coming from our right wingers, Gonzalez in the first half, and now Angelotti, who we bring on in a slightly unfamiliar position, but that is a big goal. Verdy had a couple of chances there to go 2-1 in front. Thankfully, they didn't take them, missed the target, and also a big save from Higashi early in this half. When we go down the right end, Angelotti heads that one home past Mateus and makes it 2-1. To be fair, Mateus not looking too good for their key player, but now another highlight here where Tokyo Verdy have the ball off the back of us taking a lead, so maybe they'll strike back yet again. And to be fair, some good work from them there down the left-hand side, but good work from us as well to win that ball back. But unfortunately, Unholy, bit of a loose touch there, and they get this ball back, albeit putting some good pressure on them there through our attackers, albeit they now find Iwashida, and Fukuda does get in behind a long-range effort, and Higashi is forced into a save. Didn't actually look like he had much of an idea about that one, but still it goes out for a corner. They put that one into the mix, but I think it was Yamazaki yet again who heads that one away, and that will do it for that highlight. And with 15 minutes left, we have a 2-1 lead, and now a few players at the back for us here as well, as Yamada have gone down to red hearts. We've only got one sub left though, so this could be quite interesting. I think the smart option here might be to drag Minami forward to right wing, put Anholi into central attacking midfield, and Suzuki, he can come on at left back for Yamada. So that's going to be our sub just to slightly freshen up our defence here for the last couple of minutes of this game. But currently holding on to a 2-1 lead. To be fair, based on stats, could argue Tokyo Verdy get an FM just a little bit, but 5 minutes left now. It's time for us here to drop the tempo right down. Time waste a lot, be more disciplined, and also tell our goalkeeper to distribute to the fullbacks, but also slow the pace down. We'll still keep our high defensive line. It seems to really be working here with the system. And off the back of that, there is a corner here in our favour. Matiki gets on the end of that one, but can't quite put it away. But thankfully, that will keep the pressure on at the right end of the field. We make our way into 3 minutes of added time, but it looks like that will do it. It was a close game, and to be fair, stats-wise and XG-wise, it looks like Tokyo Verdy probably should have won that game. Some big chances there either side of halftime. They grabbed the equaliser through Koda off the back of Gonzalez, putting us 1-0 in front, but they had some massive chances there early in the second half. A big save from Higashi, and also they had a chance there that they just put wide of the post. But off the back of that, we go down the other end, and a good header from Anholi to give us a 2-1. We'll just make our way here through the post-match pep talk for our guys. It's a really good result for us against a team who, as you saw before the game, super heavily favoured to be winning the league this season, but just looks like they are struggling. And for now, that puts us 16 points clear of those teams in that promotion playoff position, 14 points clear of Makita Zalvia, who are chasing us for the league title. In a really good spot. Hopefully we can continue this really good form we've got going on here at the Red Squirrels when we take on JF United Chiba in the second game in today's episode. So a good win for us there in the first game of today's episode. Not quite at our best, but still pick up the 3 points there over Tokyo Verdy. And it does mean not much change on that table off the back of what it looked like leading into that first game that we did play. Still 16 points clear of the teams in 3rd, 4th and 5th, and 14 points clear on Makita Zalvia. A good chance here if we can beat JF United Chiba to really put the foot down here and start to run away with this J2 league, and maybe then can start to focus on cup football a bit more than the league with such a huge gap, not even halfway through the season. But we did pick up a little minor injury there in that first game of today's episode. It was Figueiredo. Thankfully, he's recovered from a bruised ankle, so he will be available, but isn't quite on a full green hand. To be fair, this is a bit of a tricky game for us coming up because tons of players on a heavy workload who would usually be starting. So it does mean we've gone with very close here to a full rotation, almost a cup lineup for this game. We'll see if these guys can get the job done in a tricky game away here against JF United Chiba. These guys actually higher on the table than Tokyo Verdy were. So this could be a bit interesting, albeit their form of late is pretty mixed. The last couple of games, they've only picked up one win, and that was over Zweigen Kanazawa, who, to be fair, we've already beaten quite a few times here this season in both the league and in the J-League Cup. Their captain is the key player, Enriku Matsuda, a right back come right winger who also looks like he might be natural at centre back. He looks pretty decent with 4.5 stars current ability and potential, but I do think he might be a right back at only 1.76 metres tall. Probably not someone you want doing any work at centre-back, but certainly nothing too scary, but does look a handy player, and that star rating is quite good for this league. Their vice-captain, Naoki Shibaki, is a left winger come right winger. Let's check out him. 4-star current ability and 4.5-star potential. To be fair, nothing too scary compared to our players in terms of Angelotti or Fabian Gonzalez, but of course, they're not actually playing this game. Also worth noting, he's actually spent some time at Melbourne City back in 2020/2021, formerly before that of Yokohama F. Marinos as well. He might be a pretty decent player, but hopefully can continue our good form here and maybe even build a bigger gap going into the halfway point here of the J2 League season. But before we play this game, this is our way one for today's episode. So before we get stuck into it, it's time for the KloppBot's Hotspots in Chiba. So first up, we don't actually have to find a hotel for the hotspots today because only an hour-and-a-half trip this from Saitama to Chiba. So pretty sure that negates the need here for actually staying there in Chiba for the night. It's not too far away from Tokyo, where we are roughly based here with the Red Squirrels. We don't need to worry here about a hotel, so we can just get stuck in here to the 3 places the KloppBot does want us to visit. Now, I'm not too sure why we've actually got photos on this today, and none of them really seem too relevant. Some of them actually are YouTube thumbnails. Not too sure what's going on there. They're not too useful in terms of the free recommendations he has made. But first up, we're going to a Disney resort here in Tokyo. No doubt this will be quite good. It's got a Disneyland and a Disney Sea. It's a must visit for fans of Disney Magic, offering a variety of attractions, entertainment and dining options. Let's check out the website. Here's lots of photos on here. They've got pirate ships, no doubt. They've got all sorts of rides. There's Mickey and Minnie. Let's go around a bit further. There's a little castle thing you can go to, which actually looks like it might be a bit more fun than the ones that you do see in real life. To be fair, not as many photos as I thought they might have here on the home page of this website, but you can see they've got Disneyland, they've got Disney Sea, there's even a hotel there, so technically we can stay at this resort if we wanted to. Looks like it should be a very good time here. The boys, they can go on all the rides like Fantasy Springs, and what else have we got here? Of course, Halloween when I'm recording this. That could be something which is quite interesting as well, albeit we're a May in game, so not really ideal for that sort of thing. But going down a bit further, can we check out what the rides are? Yes, we kind of can on the park guide. Also, there is a Disney Sea, but let's be honest, it's just going to be SeaWorld but Disney. But let's go down here and see what we've got in terms of rides.
A few moments later.
Now, unfortunately, this page has got more stuff about the actual restaurant and something called the Bon Voyage. Not actually too sure what's going on here in terms of the rides. We'll have a quick look over at the Disney Sea just in case that's a bit more interesting. There's some photos of it. It kind of looks like SeaWorld, but Disney-fied. Actually looks quite similar to what we saw before on the actual Disneyland thing. They do have attractions though. Maybe this is where we need to go for the ride stuff on this. Let's see. We've got the Indiana Jones Adventure Temple of Crystal Skull and a steamer line. That's really about it here for this one. Let's go down a bit further. There's also a fantastic flight thing. Fortress Explorations. They've got all sorts. We've got gondolas. We've got the Leonardo Challenge. We've got Turtle Talk. That could be interesting. Tower of Terror. Oh yes. This will get the boys going now. This looks like what I was after earlier. Electric Railway, the Steamer Line, Toy Story Mania, Big City Vehicles, Aquatopia. They've got all sorts. They've got Nemo and Friends. Going down further, we've got the Raging Spirits. Also, there's a bit of Frozen stuff. There's all sorts. Let's just go over here, the actual Disneyland tab and see if the attractions are any different. Here's some more photos. They do look a little bit better than what we did see before. But here come the attractions. Can we see much on here? The Omnibus, the Penny Arcade. We've got a Western River Railroad, Pirates of the Caribbean. There's absolutely all sorts here at Disneyland, to be fair. This could take a while for a day trip, but we'll see what we can do here before the game that we are about to play. Maybe this is where our first team guys do while the backups try and get the job done there against JF Chiba. But lots of rides we can go on here. Splash Mountain, the Tea Party. There's all sorts. To be fair, don't mind that at all from the KloppBot. He's going a decent one there for the first activity that we do here on our trip to Chiba. Next up, we go to the Narita-san Shinshoji Temple, which is situated in Narita. This historic Buddhist temple dates back over 1,000 years. The temple grounds feature beautiful pagodas, gardens, and traditional architecture, providing a serene cultural experience. Here's what it looks like. KloppBot's favourite website here, as you can see. It's a temple. There's not a lot going on here in terms of the pictures we can see on this website. It's obviously highly ranked on here, and we all know by this stage the KloppBot, he does love that website. But here's Google. Get a few more photos. I mean, it's a temple and it looks decent, but yeah, I mean, after a while, most temples do get quite similar. So hopefully the KloppBot can stop recommending temples after a little while here in Japan. And next up, we've got number 3, which is the Mother Farm located in the Bosso Peninsula. It's an expansive farm offering interactive experiences such as animal petting, fruit picking, and seasonal flower viewing. Excellent destination for families. To be fair, this does look like quite a good family trip sort of area of Japan. Does this with Disneyland as well as the Mother Farm. Here's what it is. It looks like currently it's Dog Week or Golden Lab or Golden Retriever Week. Also, they've got cows and they've got flowers. Let's go down a bit further here. You can take photos with the pigs. You can brush them or whatever that's supposed to be for. That might be flower related. That going down further, you can eat kiwi fruit. They've got cows. That might be milk related in terms of the actual food or drink. They've got tempura on top of noodles. To be fair, that does look quite good. And going down further, there's a few more animals that they do have. To be fair, it's given me very country New Zealand vibes, this one. And if we go down even further, there's kind of a map of the place. You can see there they've got the dog petting area, they've got ducks, they've got, I'm not too sure what that actually is. It kind of looks like a bird viewing area, but also a little bit of a wheel thing. Down the hill, they've got some cows there. They've got bungee jumping for some reason, so it definitely is giving some big New Zealand vibes here. Is this place over there? They've got some bulls and whatnot. They've got there the Agro Dome. They've got some rams. They've got here some llamas, some sheep. Someone zip lining across the whole thing. And up here, they've got horses and a few other animals, which honestly, I can't quite identify. That might even be a capybara or something as well as a turtle. So it's definitely giving some big New Zealand farm vibes, this place. But anyway, could be quite interesting for the families. Just not too sure if it's going to be that interesting for the footballers, especially the local lads. They might find this a bit weird. Maybe some of our foreigners, they might enjoy this place more. But there's the 3 things that the KloppBot's found here in Chiba. Hopefully we're not too tired out from Disneyland as well as the Mother Farm, and can still pick up a win over JF United, even with a heavily rotated team. And here are the team sheets for this clash in Chiba, where we take on JF United up in 5th there on the table. They're going with a 4-2-3-1, very similar to what we saw before at a Tokyo Verdy. But these guys are going a little bit better. We've gone with pretty close to a full rotation, just Higashi in goal, Damas in the box-to-box midfield role, and also Suzuki at left back. But apart from that, full rotation. Hopefully, these guys can still pick up a half-decent result. And some slightly concerning signs here early in this game, an early throw in here to the home team who are in the yellow with the green shorts. But good interception that from Kawatani, who pumps it for to Osawa, who has been in some quite good form recently, as you saw leading in to today's episode, but unfortunately puts that shot well. And now we go down the other end, and Fujita here with a free kick. The Japanese do look a bit more accurate at free kicks than what we had in our last save, and that one comes crashing off the woodwork. So some early chances there for both teams, but neither of them are taken. Still 0-0. And just making our way up to the 10-minute mark now for the next highlight of this game. So lots of action early, and it's a goal kick here in our favour, trying to make our way out from the back. We try and go forward there down our right-hand side and start to do a half-decent job here. Matigi just takes his time there on the ball before playing it back to Higashi. Goes back out there to Matigi, even though there was quite a bit of room there down our left-hand side. But eventually make our way briefly into the opposition half, and actually there find Dimas in some good space. Yamazaki now inside the box, pulls that one back there for Suzuki. Back to Dimas, who hits that from outside the box. It wasn't the most powerful effort, but well placed. It just beats the Suzuki in goal for JF United Chiba. And we take a 1-0 lead only 10 minutes in. If we can pick up wins with the team we've put out today, we might be just way too good for this league, especially because this is one of the last double game weeks we've got in the league for the rest of this season. So really, this situation shouldn't be happening too much more off the back of this game, but a good start, 1-0 up after only 15 minutes. And we make our way forward to about halfway through the first half here, and a throw inside of the final third. Some good short passing. Yamazaki, he cuts infield looking for the top right corner, but unfortunately just can't keep that one down. Goes over the crossbar, but so far actually looking like we're the better team in this game, surprisingly, and 1-0 in front. And that'll do it for the first half of this game. So not much happening there in the second part of it, but thankfully got a goal there through Dimas on the 10-minute mark. Up until then, a little bit 50-50. But off the back of that goal, we had the only other highlight in this game. To be fair, they've had no shots on target so far. Are getting chances, just not doing much with them. So we're going okay here, especially with that team that we have put out. We'll tell them going well, capable of the better, and hopefully they can hold on here and pick up a big 3 points, and we might even extend that gap further on top of the table. And only a couple minutes into the second half, again, we start things off here with a throw to the home team. This time we sort of break things up, but not for long. We pump it deep, and they get back on the attack here, playing that one forward to Kobayashi before going back there to Galvan. Nice ball over the top, and Fujita makes his way inside the box. Good tackle there from Okamoto. Did think that briefly they'd pull that one up for a penalty, but then they square it. Good blocks in there from our defenders, and then that highlight not actually up too much, but still, they haven't got a shot on target, and we're 1-0 in front early in the second half. And we're just making our way to the last 25 minutes of this game. We've got Ivan Dimas here, our goal scorer, has dropped down to a red. Shimoda can come on for him these days. The backup box-to-box midfielder, he's actually gone above Abe on the pecking order, and also will take off Asawa today, not doing too well on a 6.4 for the Vietnamese international in Nguyen Tin Linh. So we'll see how these guys get on here off the back of that sub. Now a free kick. Yamada takes it and puts it top left corner. He's an absolute whiz from free kicks, as we've seen a couple of times already here in the save. To be fair, that might be his last act in this game because he's dropped down to a red hat, but he's really pressing his case to keep being included in this team with free kicks like that. But he grabs a cushion goal off the back of that. We'll take him off for Anhaloli. 2-0 in front with 20 minutes left. And we're just about to make our way into the last 10 minutes of this game, and Matiki's now dropped down here to a red hat at centre back. So we're going to make our last couple of subs here while we can. To be fair, not too sure if these guys will get ranks. To be fair, Yamazaki also down to a red hat, so Gonzalez can come off the bench for him, and Tabira will come on at right centre back there for Matiki. So really, this team's a bit stronger than the one we started this game with, but it looks like here we could pick up a massive 3 points. We praised there, which cuts out a highlight, but now we're down the other end here on the attack, but it's cleared there by the home team. They might get a chance here, get back in this game, but good work there from Tanaka to break things up. Now Unholy will thread that one through to Kawatani, but he's pretty clearly offside indeed. The assistant referee has put his flag up, so that just keeps it at 2-0 for now, albeit we do see the highlight from the free kick that followed that, and it does look like the home team here are going to try and get on the attack, but good little block there from Okamoto, and then Kawatani does get that ball back for us, and now Anhaloti, he's on the ball here on the right-hand side. Kawatani inside the box, tries to square that one. I think that would have been 4-10 Lim, but Suzuki that time gets down to it and can stop the action. So we're going to try and put some pressure on them here as they make their way out from the back. Galvan in there to one of his fellow centre-backs, but good work from us there, and Anhodi gets on the attack here. Some good chest control. It's a really good individual effort, that one, and Anhodi will pick up his 11th goal of the season, and that should put this game to bed, and this is a massive win for us. 3-0, some good control here, albeit might have got a little bit of luck there, as it looked like Shimoda might have been trying to get that ball, but it fell to Anhodi, and from there, just jogs his way through the defence and puts that one away in the bottom left corner. That makes it 3-0, and they're looking really rattled here now. The home team, poor pass from the restart. Tin Lin will try and get on the score sheet, but blast that one well over the crossbar. But this is a really impressive performance considering the players that we did start in this game. We make our way into 3 minutes of added time. Suzuki here with a throw. We cut this one in field. Tanaka. He'll find Kawatani, who this time will pick up the goal. No chance that one gets ruled out. 4 offside, an absolute rocket that from outside the box. That might be up there. The goal of the season, along with a couple of Yamada's free kicks we've seen so far, but good throw routine this one. Anhodi, he finds Gonzalez, Tanaka, Kawatani, and he just picks out that top right corner, while Suzuki is still positioned somewhat there on the left-hand side, and that is not just the win, but a bit of a thrashing there of JF United. To be fair, they should have had more shots on target than they did, but thankfully we made the most of that one. A little bit funny, the XG from that game, really not a 4-0 game, but thankfully we pick up 2 big wins in today's episode. That one quite surprising with the team that we did put out with most of our first team starters on a heavy workload. Doesn't matter, we make it 4-0. We'll just go forward here and see what that's going to do to the table, because that could actually be quite big for our gap going into the halfway point here of the league season. We'll just praise the guys here, because obviously that was a really good performance considering the players that did start in that game. We'll make our way forward and see what things do look like. Not much different in terms of the overall gap, but these days it's Makita Zalvia who are in third on 29 points, so 17 points clear currently of the playoff promotion teams, and 16 points clear of our nearest title chasers in Renofa Yamaguchi. So 2 really good wins for us there during the course of today's episode over Tokyo, Verdy and JF United Chiba. Those guys have now switched places in 5th and 6th on the table, but really we're beating the teams we need to when they're trying to catch us up here on this J2 league table. Big gap on top of the league. Makita Zalvia, they did pick up a win later on that match day, so still only 14 points clear on top of the table, but still that's about 5 games worth. That would take some bottle job from here if we didn't win the league, and an even worse one if we don't make our way up to J1 for next season, unless something weird does happen in the transfer window coming up in July. But looking very, very good here currently at the Red Squirrels to make our way to J1 for 2025 in this game, which really would be 2026 considering it's using an updated transfer database. But if you enjoyed that episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. Now coming up next, look, we probably should have actually come back for this game. We take on Renofa Yamaguchi, but considering we've got such a big gap on top of the table, we might skip that one and come back for some cup games next month. The reason that might have been quite an interesting game, apart from the obvious fact that it's first versus third, that's the only team who've beaten us in the league so far this season. To be fair, it was a little bit of an FMing, but yeah, they did beat us, and that's the only team so far who have beaten us in a league game. That game that we did lose, apart from that, was a cup tie where our goalkeeper got injured. We had to play Nakano in goal before he left for a different club. But there you can see the stats. To be fair, it wasn't that big an FMing, but hopefully can get revenge on these guys at home. But I think we'll skip over that one because the J2 already looks like it might be pretty much done and dusted. We should be going up to J1 for the second season of the save. So I think we might come back tomorrow and get stuck into some cup football, because now we might be able to have a decent crack at these competitions with such a big gap on top of the J2. The Emperor's Cup is, I believe, the main cup here in Japan, kind of like the FA Cup over in England. We start things off there in the second round. No idea yet who that will be against, but that might even be a J1 team. That could be quite interesting. And if it is, that's a good preview to what might be coming up for us next season, provided we don't completely bottle things. And also, we've got the second leg of our round of 16 tie in the J-League Cup, where we take on Montedio Yamagata. We take these guys on 2 times in the league in the first leg of that round in late May, but I think we'll come back and see if we can make our way forward to the quarterfinals in that competition in the middle of June. They're currently sitting in 4th on the table, so a pretty decent team that we take on in the round of 16 of the League Cup, and maybe we'll get a big team there in our first game in the Emperor's Cup as well. So until tomorrow for some cup football here with the Red Squirrels, thank you very much for watching, keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.